Hey family, thank you for joining me live. Give a little update. What's going on in our lives, but I'm gonna sit for a few minutes like I do and just let it air out and let people join. Just enjoy this song by Iz. Israel, wonderful voice. I see 3 eyeballs there. Again, we're just gonna hang out and listen to this song. Wait for some people to join. Bluebirds fly. Dreams that you dream of come true. Dreams do come true, family. Hi, Victoria. I'm glad you could join. Hi, Patricia. I'm glad you guys could join me. Anybody else who's watching live, feel free to be active in the chat. High above the chimney tops, that's where you find me, oh, somewhere over the rainbow. I'm glad that you guys are taking some time to join me. Hi, Krista Naples. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you saying what's up in the chat. Sacred Rebirth, Holistic Tarot and Treatments. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you guys. Me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. It really is a wonderful world. The lassie skies are blue and I see clouds are white and the brightness of day highlights the dark and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. It's hard to see things for as wonderful as they are. Well, thank you. I appreciate it when people want to be more than just eyeballs. I encourage activity in the chat. We exchange energy through these lives, and I appreciate all the positive energy that I get from you guys. Thank you. I love you. I hear babies cry and I often know. Hey, Digi, good to see you, man. I'd love to sit and chat with you again, brother. That small opportunity I had, I mean, it was a large opportunity for me to join your platform, but I was sad that you and I didn't get to chop it up. I love Michael, don't get me wrong, but I think you and I would have a lot of interesting things to say to each other, so hopefully we get that opportunity again, bro. High above the chimney top, that's where. Yes, so much beautiful stuff going on here on Earth right now, Debbie, that's true. We can look at all the trials and really get disheartened, discouraged. And I'm going to talk about some things that might be a little discouraging to some today, but I want you to be hopeful in them because my family and I are hopeful. And so we've been facing a lot of trials and a lot of shifts in our own life. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today. Again, it's a wonderful world. It's a wonderful song. Music, vibrational frequency can bring about a great energy, healing energy. In fact, there's a lot of facts to that are being proven, in cymatics that vibrational frequency can bring about a healing energy on a cellular level. And so I love that song, and I love I love even getting to join with you guys and chat and put that good energy out into the ether. And um, a lot of my friends and family um, have shifted as well in many ways, moving in and through different belief systems, and just growing in so many areas. And I want you to know, regardless of what you believe, what faith, what background you come from, love is the basis for all things. And in all these beliefs, we see the beautiful things, that love is the basis, right? Encouragement, bearing one another's burdens, being there uh, to lift one another up, to give that mutual edification, right? And I found that in so many places and so many people, starting with my wife and my kids. As we go through these. Hey, Bloop Jones, thanks for joining. Um, as we go through these trials, we can often get our minds fixed on the things that are difficult, the things that are negative, the things that we consider loss, and we don't see the gain in those things, right? The personal loss that we have in our own lives, that we give up when we give up aspects of things that we thought were solidified truths in our lives, and then we come to find out new truths. And this happens throughout your growth in a faith system, right? You learn new things, you grow, you you're really encouraged by the things that you're learning. And so I'm going to flip this slide on because the lighting is a little bit weird down here. And so hopefully that's a little better there. Um, and so as we grow, we don't ever want to stop growing, family. And a lot of times that growth, you think about when you're a kid, you have growing pains, right? Even I remember having younger siblings, and watching them go through this, having kids of my own, watching them go through this, that when they have these growth spurts, right, these tremendous these times where there's this tremendous growth in their life physically, and their body hurts, right? And so we can go through that ourselves in our spiritual walks, and after we're adults, we think that the growing pains go away, but they don't. You experience losses as you move through life, loss of relationship, people come and go in your life, people that you loved, you just kind of stop talking to. They might take offense with something that you say. Um, a lot of things that cause division, but it can also bring about um, a lot of new things, new relationships, new growth, new lessons. And sometimes those lessons can be just as difficult as the ones prior, or even more difficult. But in those difficulties, we can have a great blessing. We can find a great blessing. And, I did a sermon when I was in the pastor, when I was teaching in the church. I did a sermon called Brokenness That Leads to Blessing. And I think I tossed the notes out. I was having one of my times where I was just destroyed inside by the deceptions that are in the church, and a lot of the deceptions that are going on in our world. And I was going through a time of my own personal brokenness, and in that growth. And so I had a little fit where I took all my notes from all of my teachings when I was serving in the church, when I was teaching from the pulpit, and I tossed all those notes out. But the truths in those notes, they can really carry so much uh, that you remember, that no notes can dissolve. Throwing out the notes isn't going to get rid of that wisdom that came from that teaching, and from even hearing from the Creator in that time that my family and I were growing and moving through the church, and teaching and serving, and just really trying to be a service to others. And I know we were. I know that our time there wasn't in vain. And I know that we made a lot of connections, that we loved a lot of people. And in that, there's so much truth in so many of the things that are being taught. I know I talk a lot about deceptions in the church, and I don't want to focus only on these deceptions. The fact that maybe I should just take my jacket off. It's getting a little warm down here. But I don't want to just focus on the negative things. Just like in this song, it is a wonderful world, and there's a lot of wonderful things that come um, from those systems. I mean, yes, there's a lot of deception, but there's so much truth in the sense that people open up to you, and you get to experience their lives. You get the privilege of walking alongside them in their brokenness. And sadly, many men have taken that and used that for their own personal gain and for a way to get keys, right? To get keys in how to manipulate somebody's mind, how what areas to target, you know, there's just something about the way that the mind can be manipulated. And so it's sad that people have done that, right? But the truth can't be stifled. And even if they're being double tongued and they're saying one thing but doing another, um, I know that there's a lot of genuine hearts in the church, and even a lot of genuine hearts in the leadership of the church, who really do just love, who really are there for um, to serve, to love people as Christ loved them, as they want to be loved. And so with that, I've got a lot of church family that I had a lot of experiences to walk with a lot of people through disease, um, sickness, and even death. I had the privilege of and the honor of being the one to. I've done funeral services. I'll just put it that way, and and that's something that's beautiful, that you get to be the one to summarize a person's life in the best way that you can, and the best way that I always could was understanding that love, regardless of what background you come from, even if you've had a dark, hateful past, even if you are in that dark place right now, in that valley of the shadow of death, and things are very heavy, the hope that springs forth within us in those times, that love is the basis for that hope. It does miracles, family. And I've had a chance to see. Yes, exactly, Debbie. That's what people that are stuck in religious systems don't understand, is that we are having church um, every time we come together. Every time a child of God comes together with another child of God in fellowships, and just whether it's having supper or just conversing, right? That's when we're having church. And so, in oftentimes I've heard that the church is a hospital for sick people. And boy, there's a lot of sick people, right? Sick people in this world, sick people in the church, sick people out of the church. And there's really got to be this division has to stop, and the condemnation. I shared I think on a previous show, and I shared on a brother's show, John Keane. I was on his show, the Best Damn Podcast, and I shared that my family and I are facing something. I'm sick, man. And right away, I get a bunch of response about how I've walked away from the church, and how, um, just these condemning things, how there's this worry from my family, and how much more will we have to face, and how much more. Man, that's garbage, family. Don't condemn people when they're going through things. A lot of people do know our story, but a lot of people don't. And so I'm just going to give a little bit of background. I'm not going to spend a lot of time focusing on um, the difficult things that we faced. I did just want to jump on here and share some of our experience with you. That's how we bear one another's burdens. This is how we come together and edify one another. This is how healing comes about. Think about all the times Christ healed somebody. I mean, when they dropped homie through the roof, they were gathering much like this, having church, having a time of fellowship together. Many times he healed so that people would be witness to the glory of God. Hi, Tanya. Thanks for joining. Always a pleasure to have you here. An encouragement. You're always encouraging. And so, but yeah, in our times of brokenness, man, we've got to watch how we judge the situation and judge others that are going through situations that we might face one day. You know, all of the things that me and my family have gone through, all of the things that my wife and I have had to deal with as a married couple, um, growing together from the time that we're children, right? I mean, I met her when she was 14 and I was 17, and um, we go through these hills and valleys, these mountaintop experiences, and it's a beautiful thing to grow together as one flesh. You grow together and you bear one another's burdens, and so it's a beautiful thing. And as you face that together, you face life's challenges together. And those are some of the things that we face together. I lost my father at a young age. I lost him when I was 19. um, and my wife was just crucial in helping me through all of that and dealing with a lot of the past traumas that I dealt with, being in gangs and seeing people hurting people myself. um, it's pretty crazy, some of the things that you can carry with you, right? And the way that the people in your life can, and this is where the brokenness comes in, is that we transfer these things, right? Our genetically, we map these things, and so we absorb each other's energy. And so there is an energy transfer when you're walking through somebody. Victoria, I'd love to share my whole testimony, and I will. I'll share my whole testimony one of these days. I did share some of it in the video about coming out of the church, and I will. There will be a video where I share my entire testimony and up to this point, and that'll probably be a couple of hours. But right now, I want to talk about what we're facing right now, and in the death and destruction that I faced in my life, and my wife, her family had faced some death as well with her grandpa, the loss of her grandpa, and I was there for the loss of one of her grandparents, and seeing that, and that it was to cancer, and before that, I had never experienced that in my life. I didn't lose anybody to cancer. I think somebody in my family, a distant relative, had cancer and overcame it, but it wasn't somebody that I was really close to. And so seeing my wife and her family go through that, my mother-in-law losing her father to cancer, it was really eye-opening. The effect that disease and death has on people. A lot of the people that I lost, it was very violent. It was very ugly. They died very early in life, and they died in ways that um, in and of itself are very difficult things to face. But to see a family visiting somebody who's actively dying because of something that's going on with their body, that's a game changer, family. That's a new experience. And so experiencing that with my wife was the first time that I had experienced anything with that word, cancer. Actually, um, my mom had, and this was shortly after my mom had, um, I believe it was ovarian cancer, and she had her uterus removed, and um, we uprooted and we went down to take care of her, and she she beat it, and she moved back up here, and those were trials, moving and taking care of family, moving away from situations. My wife hadn't been away from her parents before that, and we were hundreds of miles away, and just difficulties difficulties, man. And all along, um, rolling with the punches, loving one another, encouraging one another, um, picking each other up when the other one falls. Because believe me, family, I've fallen so many times that I can't believe my wife is as strong as she is. Because to pick somebody up who's fallen as hard as I have, as many times as I have, it really is just um, an affirmation of God, you know. And to have the privilege to do that for her when these difficult times hit. um, Again, being there when her grandpa got sick, and then her being there when my mom got sick. And then, hi James, thank you for joining, man. I'm feeling encouraged, bro. I'll say that. Physically, I today's a hard day, but we go through these things, and often we can feel like it's something that we've done, something that we've some area we've fallen in, a line that we've crossed, right? And we begin to condemn ourselves, and we begin to think that these things, if we just did something different, right? If this is one of the difficult things in the church, is that it brings a level of self-condemnation, in this sense that you're disconnected from God and you're not doing what's right. If you're sick, or if you're experiencing difficult times in your life, if you're experiencing financial difficulties, one of the first questions that you get asked in a counseling session is, have you been tithing? Have you been giving to the church? And when your answer is yes, well, what other areas have you been giving in, and what have you been withholding? And like a bunch of, like, again, it turns into this condemnation trip, right? And we can't be led to feel condemned when we're going through these difficulties, because so much beauty springs forth. Man, Christ said, unless the seed falls to the ground and dies, there can't be that new life, right? And so these ideals, these thought forms, and oftentimes circumstances and situations, they fall to the ground and die. And we see, just like Ecclesiastes says, there's a reason for everything, a season, a time for everything under the sun. And so we go through this process of learning as we grow older, as we eyes to see. Thank you for joining. Talking about difficulties in life, and how often we can feel condemned and feel led to believe that we have done something wrong if we're experiencing these difficulties, right? My family and I have experienced a lot of difficulties, a lot. We faced a lot of death, and um, I was sharing that going through the pastorate, through the ministry, there was so much. Yes, it gives an opportunity to rise up and be great. That's right, Digi. It is. I've got to share that. I was gonna try not to focus on the chat, but I love the input that you guys give, and um, just the insight, man. We work together. We work together as a unit, and we support and we help one another rise up and be great, like the phoenix rises from the ashes. You know, and we get the privilege and opportunity to be there and be present during those times. And this is one of those times where, man, I feel like um, there's been a wall. I've hit a wall in a lot of the things that I faced physically, and I haven't shared this with a lot of people. My family knows. I've shared um, prior, when I was dealing with this months ago, with my mom and with my I believe my sisters knew. I know I've talked to Josette, and my brother knows. And so the people close to me know that I've been facing some health issues. And I really seen a great improvement. First, I was facing health issues with my back, and there was a great healing there. Um, and as we've walked through a lot of difficulties, my health has fluctuated. But I know that I've been strengthened in times. These recent times, some of the things that we faced as a family is losing my father-in-law a couple of years ago to cancer. And again, there's that word, cancer, liver cancer. And that was a very difficult time. He was the patriarch. He was a father to me because my father was murdered when I was 19. And I knew this guy since I knew his daughter since I was 17, but I met him shortly after that, you know, and so he was like a father to me. He was in my life as a father figure longer than my own father was. And so that was difficult for me, but more difficult was watching, knowing the experience of losing a father and watching my wife have to walk through that. That was very difficult, family. And again, I shared in my other video about why we left the church, some of the things that compounded that. And you'll have to watch that video because I don't want to go into that here. But um, when you face these difficult times, oftentimes it could seem like a landslide of everything just falling apart, right? Everything in your life seems to be falling apart. But these things, hi, Becky Perry, thank you for joining. We are one. We are one. And that's why we feel these things collectively, and we can heal collectively. We really can. Spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and physically. And that's what I'm talking about today. Healing. There's healing there. There's healing there available for us. Thank you, Flash Gordon. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. It says we will see you glow again like yesterday at the end of the live stream with Best Damn Podcast. John and the Gospel Brothers. Yeah, I mean that's one of the things that I know is a healing thing. I know that that's something that the creators call me to do, is to shine not just in the times of strength, but to share in these difficulties with you guys. To share in these difficulties with anybody who would come across this broadcast or this um, the replay. Um, we share in these things, and it is rough. It's so rough to lose somebody and to watch somebody go through that and walk through that. It's difficult because you look to, you just want them to heal, man. You just want to take all that pain, and in a way you do, you absorb a lot of that, right? And I think about the Green Mile and how home you would absorb the sickness or the disease or um, but then he'd spew it back out, right? He'd heal people, and we heal people. We absorb energy, we transfer energy. And so in this, even in the difficult time, I want to transfer positive energy, and I want to transfer hope in this broadcast, and I want to transfer that through the difficulties there's light. There's light. Even in the darkest time, there's light. And if you're going through that dark time, just trust that and believe that. So we come out of this difficult time into right into a continuation of a difficult season because before my wife's um, father passed away, we were already here taking care of Connie, her mother, and she had dementia. And so we were already here caring for her mother when her father got sick, and it happened so quick, 2 months. I believe it was 2 months from the date of um, being diagnosed to the time he passed, and it happened so quick, but it was an eternity, right? She provided the hospice care. My daughter provided the hospice care with her. I believe she was 17 at the time. My son, being that this hospice was home hospice, was here witnessing this every day, witnessing his grandfather, what the cancer was doing to him, and what it the weight it was putting on him. Not just the sickness, but the weight that it was putting on him. And so we go through these things, and we continually lean on God. We continually lean on each other, and some of those valleys, some of those dark times, we're meant to go through alone, right? And we walk through much of this very alone, very, very much so. So my wife and my daughter didn't just provide the hospice care for my father-in-law, and I helped. I don't take any of the credit, but I did help where I could. I stepped away. I didn't have to, but I stepped away from working for the last probably month or two uh, to help get him to appointments and just be here, just be present, and it's something that my wife and my daughter did. Well, let me just say it this way: my family did. My wife, my daughter, my son, and myself provided that hospice care for my mother-in-law as well. That took a little bit longer from the time that she was in her dementia. She had a seizure, and from there, things kind of went downhill. And that was a few months of very, very difficulty, very, very difficult times, very, very, um, a time of great difficulty. And so much to question, so many things that you just can't help but wonder what's going to, how much worse is this going to get? Um, how long is this going to go on? Once you see somebody stop eating and you see them start to deteriorate, it's a very difficult thing. And so, uh, having watched the people that I love watch somebody that they love dearly, I mean, that's a difficult thing for people who are trained in the medical field to deal with, for professionals to deal with. And so my family going through that, it was a very difficult thing to watch and to see my family suffering, knowing that I couldn't do anything more than what I was doing, what I am doing, you know, be here to love and to support, to provide as best as I can. We took on not just the aspects of taking care of them, and there were uh some things coming in that were helping with the financial aspect, but we took a lot of that burden upon ourselves Um, we sunk a lot of money and time in their home to try and get it. There was a lot of things going on, falling apart on the home, and so we took on a lot of that. We took on a lot of the aspects of um, things that weren't covered, things that were, I mean, like the funeral, Connie's funeral. She had um, accidental death and dismemberment. We were under the impression that there was uh, life insurance, and it wasn't covered. It didn't cover anything, and so the family had to come together and pull those funds together, and even that's not completely paid, and so these things just pile up as you're dealing with these things emotionally, spiritually, and in the physical realm. Life continues to go on, and these things continue to just build up, and um, it's another aspect that can cause a lot of worry and a lot of dis-ease in a person's heart, which we know brings about disease. And you know going through a physical struggle myself, and going through these trials, trying to get healthy, trying to seeing how important it is to be healthy and be here for my family, knowing that not one day is promised. Um, I put a focus on not eating so much. I was a heavy meat eater, and I put a focus on doing some vegetarian challenges, vegan challenges. Never really went full on vegan or vegetarian. I still ate some chicken, or some just some fish. But and I did. I started cutting a lot of weight. I dropped down from almost 250. I was over 240 pounds, and I dropped down all the way down to what I felt was a really healthy weight, 165, 170. And I was, actually putting on some weight. I cut a lot of the body fat, a lot of the toxic crap that was in my body was flushed out, and I've been going through this transformation, and I've even spoken about it in some previous videos that our bodies are transforming in this time, and I've seen this transformation in my life, and this time where I was getting healthy and putting some weight back on in a healthy way, bulking up top, lifting weights, being very active, feeling really good inside and out. And then I hit a wall a couple of weeks ago, and I hit a wall a couple of weeks ago, and I started experiencing a lot of the symptoms that I thought I overcame. I started bleeding a lot. I started bleeding a lot rectally. I started throwing up blood, and it's been over a year. I was actually having some health issues with my digestive system. Was going through a lot of exams, a lot of they were just a lot of checkouts, a lot of checks, appointments, going in and getting checked out, having cultures done, had a colonoscopy done. They shoved a camera on a tube, on the end of a tube, up my butt, and checked everything inside, and they couldn't figure it out. um, there was a lot of speculation as to what it could be, from Crohn's and irritable bowel syndrome to, excuse me, family, to even that damn word being tossed around, the C word. You know, the doctor did say that there were possibilities that it could be colon cancer, or intestinal cancer, and but the more that I was reading and researching as I was going through this, God did this funny thing with my back. When I had a really bad back, they were insisting on doing surgery, to the point that my doctor was going to stop treating me if I didn't get surgery. God kept telling me, no, don't get the surgery, don't get the surgery. When I went in to get consultation for the surgery, the surgeon thought I was nuts because the MRI they took compared to the MRI that was taken 2 weeks earlier or a month earlier, whatever, when I was given the referral, was completely different. My discs had begun to regenerate, and I guess discs don't just regenerate like that. And so, um, thank you for all the love and comfort you guys are sending in the chat. I will go over the chat real quick before we close out. I just want to share this. That way, those who catch the replay, it can just be as succinct as possible. And um, but that was a scary thing, especially seeing some of the things that were transpiring and had transpired in our lives. Um, it was something that I was convinced that I'm not going to let this take me down, right? And so I did. I started to change my diet. I started to change a lot of things. The same thing that happened with my back, I believed, just like the discs would regenerate, that my insides would heal. And so I started to change my diet, change the way I lived, change my sleeping patterns, change even just my thoughts and my emotional patterns, the thought forms, do a lot of inward work. Uh, Changing my heart and moving away from that worry and that dis-ease in the heart. Um, and I seen all these great improvements, right? And I seen even these huge strides and improvements in my family. And as I was growing and they were learning new things, they're growing. And again, just the emotional roller coaster that many of you know, this transitioning and this shift is bringing about. I'm proud of my family, troopers, man, especially moving through all of the difficult things. That it's been one thing after another, just death after death after death, disease, sickness, and then to see it spring back up in our own life. um, you know uh, a couple of weeks ago, I started bleeding really bad again, to the point that I fell over on the getting off of the toilet the other morning. My wife took some pictures because she thought she was going to have to call the ambulance. And um, from what she said, I seemed to be having seizures. And that brought about that dis-ease in my heart again and a great fear. I actually thought that day I felt like I might die. And so I had been having these difficulties with my digestive system again. My stomach would feel like cement, even with a few grapes or a half of an avocado. Just by the time I'd even get a few bites into whatever meal my wife cooked, and believe me, she's been um, is on this train of moving forward and growth for a while now. So she's learning all of these things about the nutritional stuff, and what veggies are good cooked and which ones are raw, or have more beneficial, or even just the different beneficial aspects of cooked versus raw, and the fruits and veggies and all of these things. And so Don, I feel like I'm being attacked, and I know that it's because my family is moving into this great light. And I know that that's something that the source has shown me, that creator has shown me, in meditation and in times of being in the prayer closet, is as my family grows in these truths and moves through these things together. That's why so many families are being torn apart, is the enemy wants a house divided. And that's not going to happen. My house is strong and my house is being strengthened. Danny, I've actually suffered from ulcers for a long time, and that's one thing that we looked into. There was signs of that ulcer being it was healing, and now it was agitated. It wasn't as bad as it was before. Before, it was bleeding to the point that it was getting really close to eating through the stomach lining, and causing abscessing and crap in my stomach cavity. But I know that I know that the parasites are a big thing, Danny, and that's something that I'm looking into as a regimen to treat parasites as well. And so, um, I've been looking into that, James. That's what I was just talking about. The parasite cleansing is something that the creator has shown me that I need to do, as well as the I don't know. It's on the wish list on Amazon, but the diametric earth is supposed to be really good as well. Looking into a lot of fruit cleanses and healing using herbs and foods as medicine, because that's what they are. The things that we eat are essentially supposed to be medicine. And so, yes, ivermectin, that's actually what I was looking into, Don. And I know Santos, I had him on the show yesterday morning, and he's got a whole list of regimens for the different types of parasites. And so I'm going to start slow and start clearing out all of the intestinal stuff. The creator has been showing me things I need to do with fruit cleanses, changing even in the vegetarian and fruitarian type things that I've been doing, specific things to be doing. Brother Eric, told me about his story and his experience with his son, and even his health, with skin on blueberries and making smoothies in the morning with some hemp seed and some skin on blueberries, and you add a different type of fruit depending on what type of vitamins you're looking to add into that smoothie. Um, Hydrogen peroxide therapy. Um, one of the subscribers sent me that, I believe. Actually, it might have been Donna Proto Keys from Facebook, but I know somebody sent me some information regarding hydrogen peroxide therapies. Sugars, I cut out a lot of the sugars a long time ago. A lot of times for sweetening, I use agave nectar or organic maple syrup or honey, raw organic honey. And so I've been working on a lot of that. And yes, I mean, I love this, guys. You know what? All the information you guys are putting in the chat, I'm going to come back and review the chat as well, but please email me this information. That's one of the reasons why I'm making this video is I'm putting out a call for help. A lot of the things that we already know, we're going to start implementing. But if there's any other things that will be helpful on this road to healing, I'd love that. And my emails, I got 2 emails, my walk-in wisdom email, my alternate email, which is actually my main email, Joe the Cisneros at Yahoo. I've got them uh, in the description of my about section on my channel, and I will post all of the information here, the Amazon wish list, the ways that you can help financially, and then the ways that you can send me any of this information that you have found helpful or have heard other people have found helpful in dealing with these kind of things, because I have seen in my time in meditation that this might get much worse. And family, that's scary, because when I hit this wall a couple of weeks ago, I was floating around 160, 165. I wasn't getting anywhere near below 160. That was the lowest weight that I was hitting. Thanksgiving Day, I weighed myself and it was 160, 162, I believe, something like that. And within 3 days, 4 days, I believe it was Monday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So like Monday, when I weighed myself, I was down to 158. And so I lost, like, give or take 15 pounds in a matter of days. I was bleeding a lot. I was throwing up blood daily. Yesterday, I didn't have any bleeding, but man, I was experiencing some very difficult things this past weekend and over the week. It has been scary, and I've been trying to remain in a positive mindset and trusting that the Creator has a purpose for me. And He even gave me a scripture um, regarding, and I should go get my Bible. That way I don't mess it up. But regarding the blind man that was healed, I think it's in John 9 or John 7. Let me see. I'm just going to jump into my Bible here on my phone I'm about to die on my phone, but he gave me a scripture to be hopeful for, that this is happening so that people who doubt, or people that are going through this and doubting their own healing, will have that hope, the hope that anchors us to the heavenly places, the hope that brings about that healing, the hope in love, the love that we're never left or forsaken, and the love that we have everything that we need given to us in our heart to make ourselves well, right? Christ said, physician, heal thyself. And so that's what I plan on doing. I plan on supernaturally healing myself because Christ said, physician, heal thyself. And so I believe that, and I'm going to do that. And I'm going to use every tool that I've been given, every ounce of every wisdom and piece of knowledge that any of my brothers or sisters has for me. I'm going to look into it, and I'm going to pray for it, and I'm going to pray about it, and I'm going to implement whatever the creator tells me. Joe, this is what you need to do. And I know some of that already. I know that it's been confirmed, because I'm Gideon, man, and I always put that damn fleece out. I cannot stand it. I always put that fleece out, and I'm always, God, are you sure? God, are you sure? God, are you sure? And so I'm sure that the parasite cleansing has to be done, the juicing. And this is another thing, family. That's one of the ways that you can help. Our blender broke yesterday. I was trying to make a blueberry smoothie yesterday, and our blender broke. And so we got an Amazon wish list up, and I'm not just looking for a handout. I'm looking for help. I've been so sick. It's hard to get out of bed some days. It's hard to, I'm a construction worker. And when I do these physical things, man, it takes everything out of me. It drains my energy some days just to get up and go out and sweep the snow off of the cars. I have to stop halfway through because I feel like I'm going to die. This morning I woke up and I told my wife my insides feel like stone. My kidneys, my liver, my pancreas, everything feels like it's just solidifying and becoming stone. My guts, man, I literally feel the gear. It's like gears grinding, right? These cogs in a clock mechanism that's all old and rusted. That's what my insides feel whenever I take a bite of food. Now, even when I drink juice or water, it feels just like my insides are working so hard to just process anything. And I've seen it. I mean, family, look at me. I've heard you guys mention so often how I glow when I get on and I start teaching, and the flow of the spirit is flowing through me. My eyes haven't been bagged like this for probably over a year. I haven't been this sucked in, and I've been hydrated, man. I've been drinking and drinking and drinking water. I've been eating fruit. I've been taking care of myself. And yet I couldn't stop the weight loss. I finally leveled out right now, and I'm I said 158, right? I meant 148. I was below 150. I lost like 15 pounds in a matter of days. And so I think I've leveled back out, and I've gotten back up to, I think, 150. I gained 2 pounds. And so again, I'm hoping that that's not just because I'm backed up and I feel like stone inside, because yesterday I did force myself to eat a little bit more than I have been eating. Ate a salad with some kale and some good stuff. But that's as my family and I go through this, I understand the fear with my family, and seeing that um, everybody in their life that they care about has been getting sick and then passing away, and now dad is really sick. And it's been difficult, and so it's been difficult to and I believe that, Krista, I believe that the body is upgrading and changing. On the Best Damn podcast, that's something that Steve Conover touched on, is that all of those cells and even the blood that I'm passing, all of those were the things that were rooted in this world, that were rooted in the negativity, that were the old creation, and how our cells regenerate. Every 7 to 10 years, we have an entirely new body, and that body is effectively gonna perform according to how we've built up that body over the 7 years. And so these past few years that we've been going through these changes and going through these difficulties and coming through them with hope and love, you know, it's purging. It's purging all of that needs to be healed. And so, thanks for joining, Don. Please catch the replay if you can. I'm gonna put in some other information on how you guys can help. Number one, the healing energies, the good vibrations, the prayers, the good thoughts, whatever you want to deem them as, your meditations. My family appreciates, and believe me, the gratitude is overflowing for those things. Give me 1 second, family. All right. I was trying to get through this without doing this. Those are the scary, difficult things. So continue to send that good energy, family. We receive it, and it does make more of a difference than you could ever imagine. Some of the practical, physical ways that you can help right now are, yes, Robert, please watch the replay. I'm going to put the stuff in the links. When I stream from StreamYard, for some reason, it doesn't keep my description information. And so I'm going to type in a description after this video is done recording, after we're done here in the live. And I'm going to put in all of my ways that you can contact me and help. Hey, Derek, I'm glad that you can join, buddy. You've been a huge light in my walk, in this walk of truth and in learning new truths, and even been a light in understanding that there is healing here. And that's kind of what we're talking about. Is I'm facing some difficult things and some disease in my life, and I know a lot of it is springing forth from dis-ease in the heart, and so some of the ways that you guys can help is just continue to pray for us, continue to just support us with the good energy, the prayers, the just petitioning on our behalf. It's so greatly appreciated. I know that I'm going to get through this. I know that this healing is going to be for the glory of God. And the Creator showed me that it might get more difficult. I might lose more weight. It might seem like I'm going to die. And again, I've even seen that in my face, like the health is apparent, and it's apparently just fading. And but I'm confident, man. I'm so confident. I'm confident that this is for the glory of the Creator, man. And that's actually what I was going to touch on before I got sidetracked. Is in I believe it's John 9. Let me get there because I want to make sure it's in John 9. Where it's talking about the man who was born blind, right? He was born without sight, and all the people are asking him, like, what's up with this dude? Why is he blind? Did his dad sin? Is his father the one who sinned, or is it he that sinned? And so it's not. Let me see. Yeah. So it is John 9. Now, as Jesus passed by, he saw a man who was blind from birth, and his disciples asked him, saying, Rabbi, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind? And Christ answered, neither this man nor his parents sinned, but that the works of God should be revealed in him. I must work the works of him who sent me while it is day. The night is coming when no one can do work, when no one can work. As long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world. And family, we have that work to do. We are the Christ. We have the Christos. And as we step up in these things, we're going to feel crucified in the flesh. And we're going to feel like, thank you so much for that encouragement. This, I'm going to post that up there, man. It's something that's been, God's continually been showing me that, man, that this will pass, that this isn't going to be the end, that, well, it's still day, that we're here to do this work of showing people to be rooted in love, this work of showing people who are being drained of their energy of love and of light in these systems, the world systems, which, what does it say in scripture? Christ was going to come and do away with every one of those systems. And that's the work that we're here to do, family. And so, well, it's day. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to continue to do that work. And I'm going to understand that this isn't because I've sinned or because of something my family's done. We're not going through these difficulties. My wife didn't lose her dad, my and her mother so close together in the ways that she did because she's being punished. She's being blessed. We're being blessed with the light of love, the pure energy of source of the Father, the Creator within us is springing forth through this brokenness. And so I want you guys to understand that when we come through these things, we're being tested. And when we come forth, even though we don't see him working on the right and we don't see him working on the left, we're going to come through as gold, purified gold, family. And that's what this process is right now. And that's what this process that my family and I are going through. And so as we're going through this, I've allowed pride to really get in the way. I've allowed pride and fear and worry to really get in the way. Something that I thought the Creator worked out of me as I was going through the pastorate and even called out of the church. I thought that pride was done away with. I thought that fear was done away with, and it wasn't. It wasn't. That fear has been rooted. That things aren't in order. I love that, Derek. All things are in order. What is it that's out of order that I fear, that I feel like I have to put in order? I was telling my daughter that, I was talking about wanting to get her Bronco fixed, and I got a couple of vehicles that are broke down. I started tearing my roof off, and things happened. People died. And we didn't have the money to finish the roof. Like all of these things, I was telling her, I got to get these things taken care of because I'm sick and I don't want to leave you guys, with things that aren't completed. And but then it was that thought, like, well, why are these thought forms taking control? This is going to pass. I am going to come forth as gold. And you know what? I am my brother's keeper, and my brother is my keeper. And so I was told, share these things, share the difficulties, share the road, share. Thank you for subscribing. And please forgive me for some of my earlier videos, Derek. I was very zealous about sharing these deceptions. And so I got some of the archetypal figures wrong when I was walking through who Yahweh was and all of these other things. And some of those videos were removed, but I left some of them up as a witness to the growth that comes about, and so thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it, Derek. And I've been working through the Alpha and Omega playlist and watching a lot of the recent stuff too. And your words have helped my family get through a lot of these difficult times, especially being called out of the church in the time that my wife was losing her father and had literally provided his care on his deathbed. Seeing things with the church crumble and fall apart, walking through that, finding you, it was all divine and it was all from the Creator. And so, I thank you for being that light in the difficulties of man, just the persecutions that you face and all of the double talk, and even the people who love you or say that they love you, but inwardly hate you. And brother, I want you to know that you are loved and appreciated dearly in so many people's lives. And so uh, the Creator told me, just like He did with my back, not to go back to Kaiser. Kaiser will. I had this vision. I see things, family. This is why people think I'm crazy. This is why sometimes I feel crazy. I see things, and I seen this vision of very much the same road of what happened to Greg, my father-in-law, my wife's dad. That if I go back to Kaiser, it'll be a matter of months, and that it will be that C word. And that's not the way to go, that I'm not to seek the physician first, that I'm to be the physician and I'm to heal myself, that I'm to seek the greatest physician, which is Christ, and Christ is in me. And so we're going to make it through this, and we're going to do it without conventional medicine. We're going to do it through the Spirit. And that's some of the ways that you guys can help in this time. Is we're facing a lot of things, and it's been very difficult for me. I've been doing whatever I can for work. In fact, that's why we kind of moved over from me doing my construction to helping with Stardust City Creations and the jewelry that we're making, is I don't want to seem like I'm begging people. And so we have a lot of inventory, still continue to push forward through this, to work for our mammon, our money, this stupid system and its paper money. Uh, Man, you are loved, and so I love you too, Derek, very much, very much so. Um, you embody that love of Christ, and so it's helped me embrace the love of Christ in myself. And so um, we're going to make it through this, family. We're going to make it through this, and I'm not going to be prideful anymore. I'm going to share this difficult season. I'm going to share these struggles, and I'm going to document these things for you guys. I'm going to be a witness to my family through these things, be a witness for God, and that as this blind man, the works were done through him, and this healing was done, that those around would believe, right? So that they would believe, that they believe how his eyes were open, that they believe that they saw that healing, and people are going to see this healing. And family, even if you do see me get much worse, even if you see my face get more sucked in, even if you hear about me losing more weight, even if you hear about me bleeding more, know and be confident in your heart of what the Creator showed me, that I'm not going back to that place, because I know that that's what a lot of my people from the church would be. Oh, well, if you're not going to go to a conventional doctor, if you're not going to go to the hospital, then what are we going to be able to do to help you? Man. That's not the heart that Christ had. He didn't send people away because they wouldn't go the conventional manner and go to the temple to be cleansed. It's good to see you, Jim. I love you, brother, and we will talk here in a bit, man. I'll give you a call. You've been a great encouragement, and you and Steve, what you had to share on John's show, man, it was really encouraging, and it connected so many dots. And so again, it's not just with the information, with the holistic medicine, the hydrogen peroxide healing, the veggies, the fruits, all of these things, but send that good energy, and send the meditations as well. Steve Conover sent me a meditation. My wife and I are going to be doing a breathing method class tonight. Um, and we're just looking to grow in all of these things, and to make it through these difficult times, through this dis-ease. It's going to be removed. It's surgery right now. We're going through surgery right now, and these things that are necessary to be removed, that are not fit for the kingdom, like fear and worry, are being removed. And so I will be putting up a wish list and some other links. Family, it's hard, and I've been falling behind. And so there goes the pride. There's the pride out the freaking window, man. And I know I'm probably going to lose a lot of people once they hit this part of the video, but you can help financially as well. Share this out, because even if man, 6 degrees of separation, if one person who has a large amount that feels led to share can share and help us in this time, and remove that, just help with that one less worry, man, one less worry. That's one of the things that's been weighing on me the most, is the financial aspect of these things. And I know my father owns the cattle on 1,000 hills, and so I'm not worried. He's always provided. He's always provided, and I know he's going to provide this time. And so, if you don't feel comfortable sending money, reach out to me, email me. I'll take any help. If we have bills piling up, if you want to help with a bill directly and you don't want to send cash, I'm open to that, family. I'm not hiding anything now. I'm not hiding anything. I wasn't hiding anything before, but like, I'm not allowing pride to get in the way of anything now. And I will share what, where we're lacking, or where that area of lack seems to be affecting us right now, because I know that we're not lacking. I know that it's there, and I know that that's why God wanted me to share this. I know that that's why the Creator told me, just quit being a prideful ass, and share with your brothers and sisters, because that's what I've provided for them for. That love that stems from charity, the agape love of the Father, is just like, man, I'm not saying this to toot my own horn. My wife and I have given like the widow with a mite. We've given when we were in need. We've given to help people. We've given to feed people. We've given of our time and our energy. I mean, and that's the thing, is that um, the Creator showed me that these things come back in ways that we don't see, in times that we would never expect. And in my time of meditation, he was showing me, as I walk away from that Kaiser sign that was behind me, the hospital, that it was this light. It was like it was like night. And it was this light that I was walking towards. And that light is the light that is shining forth from the brothers and sisters that have been, so many of you don't even know how greatly you've been used. Like Derek, you don't even understand how greatly you've been used in our life. And so many of you, Jim, you don't know how greatly you've been used before we even connected, before you probably ever even knew who I was. And so that light that we provide to one another, that love, is what's going to help get us through this. And so, I'm going to put up some links for my PayPal, for Venmo, for my Facebook. I'm not going to set up a fundraiser because of the fees that are taken. I was considering doing a GoFundMe or a Facebook fundraiser, but reading through the terms and conditions, and then having done a GoFundMe fundraiser to try and raise the money for the funeral for Connie, and the things that we're still lacking regarding some of the outstanding bills and the work on the house and things. That helped in its time. But again, I feel like a lot of that money that was donated went to somebody else's pocket. And so I'm not looking to line my pockets. I'm not looking to be frivolous. I'm looking to get through and make it to. My wife and I had this anniversary trip planned for August, and I want to be able to see that. And whatever's happening in the world, I know that it's going to be a bunch of wonderful changes, a lot of transitions, and I want to be able to see those too. And so, again, you guys can help by just praying, sending us energy, sending us any information regarding meditation methods, things that we can pray about implementing. Nutritional information, the wish list on Amazon with the diametric earth. Or I know I'm missaying that. I always say it wrong, and my wife laughs at me because she tells me the correct way to say it every single time, and I always say it wrong. And so, but the diametric earth, dichotomous earth, whatever it's called, um, is on there. I think we'll end up putting a blender or a juicer on there. Just some practical things. Gift cards to Whole Foods. Gift cards to what's the other place, babe? The place we shop, Whole Foods, and where? Sprouts. And so we Vitamin Cottage, gift cards to Vitamin Cottage, Sprouts, Whole Foods. Again, we've got bills that are piling up that I haven't been able to get out and do construction. I've literally been disobedient. The Creator has told me, you need to move away from that industry for right now, because you're gonna it's gonna take all your energy. The work that I do takes a massive amount of energy, and he flat out told me, you're going to kill yourself if you keep doing that work. You need to heal. And I believe one day I'll be able to build again, because that's one of the things I want to do with Project Help is um, go to these ranches and these communes and these areas where people are gathering to love one another, to heal one another, to support one another, and to help them um, build units where they can live, earthships, where they can gather rain, live off of the land, plant their own food, teach them the things that the Creator has taught. My son is a genius with herbs and plants, and my wife is a genius with crystals and just empathic healing. She's an empath, and she's a healer. I know she is, and I know I am, and I know my daughter is just super super like in tune with uh, um, I know that she's so far along, much further along than she realizes, on this walk of awakening and being used to heal people. And I know that as a family unit, we have a journey, and we have a mission, that we're here to spread that love and that light. And so I know that we're going to make it through it. I know that there's going to be healing, and I know that we're going to get these things done that need to be done. And so, even if you can't give of your own resources, family, please share this video, and share the Facebook link. I'm going to be putting the Facebook link for my page up on in the description. And so please go and add me on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, find the post with this video and share it. I tagged several people, and so if you're tagged, it's just because I felt led. I felt like the Creator wanted me to tag you and share our walk with you, and share where we're at. And again, if you've missed so far, we've been going through a lot. We've had a lot of loss, a lot of disease, a lot of sickness, but it's bringing forth a lot of hope and a lot of healing. And springing forth from it is the greatest love of all, the agape love, the love of charity, the love of serving one another, the love of healing. Yes, please do smash that thumbs up. I appreciate that, eyes to see. Let's definitely get those likes up so that it helps with the algorithms. Are we back on? I am sorry. I had a connection issue. Hopefully we're back on. If I can get a response in the chat. I'm sure I lost a few of you while we were disconnected, but hopefully we're back on. I'm going to jump on this device and just try and see if we're back live. Hopefully I was able to get the connection issue worked. All right, thanks for the response, Robert. I love you, James. Thanks for being here, bro. But family, definitely, I was just encouraging you, check out the Facebook. I'll put all the links for everything in the description for this video and in the Facebook posts. There's 2 most recent Facebook posts, and I'm also going to add a link and pin the post to the top of my Walk-in Wisdom page for this video with the information on how you guys can help. Anything is appreciated, family. Anything is appreciated. And I mean, dude, literally, I've seen people come together and, 1,000 people putting $10 in a pot can make a huge difference. And so let's share these things out, man. Let's help each other, man, because there's so much on my plate that I want to get underway that really is going to help the homeless. And, my family's already been doing things to help people. And that's our heart of service. And so I can't even get this to connect on my other device to see if we are everything's good. Victoria says we're back. Gospel Ranger thumbs up. Eyes to see. I'm just now getting these comments coming through because the connection was so bad. And so thank you guys so much for responding. And yes, definitely share this out. Share the video out. Add me on Facebook. The link will be in the description for my Facebook page. And then I'll also put a link for the posts that have this video that you guys can share on that platform just by share. If you add me on Facebook, I'll be sure and confirm the friendship. That way we can, we can stay in communication. You guys can see the stuff I post. And again, I'll be sharing in all of this on whatever platforms I have. And I just ask that you would do the same. And just send that concentrated energy. I know that I've got some issues with my, not just the intestinal tract, but some of my, yes, the blood type is healing, and O negative, I believe. And so, yeah, there's a lot to do with blood type and the healing of the blood type. And I think that what Steve was saying about a lot of the blood being purged and being new blood is being made and created. So I'm changing on a cellular level going through this, and that healing really is a healing beyond what I could think in just removing disease. It's actually doing a lot of genetic healing and ancestral healing as well. And so we change these things as we go through these dark times. And man, family, it's not all gloom and doom. We have a hope that surpasses all understanding, and so in that, family, remain in that hope. Remain in that hope. Be in that hope for me and my family. Remain in that hope for you and your family, and just understand that as you're healing from these things that are going on in your life, mentally, emotionally, and physically, you are healing spiritually. And that's why these things can be so difficult. That's why these things can be so trying. That's why these things can seem like it's the end of the world. Like it's the end. Like it's the end. It's the end of existence. It's the end of life. It's the end of everything that we love. But it's not. It's just the beginning, family. And be hopeful in that. I know that days ago when I was feeling like this was the end, I felt that way. I threw a little pity party on Facebook and posted some stupid shit about, oh, I'm dying inside and nobody could give two shits about it. Come on, man. Come on. Don't be hopeless like that, family. It can be, we can feel hopeless. We can feel like there is nothing good that can transpire from the things that we're going through. But bam, Flash Gordon said it. It's about getting whole. Thank you for being here, Robert. You're such an encouragement, and all the comments that you leave on the videos, even after they're posted, and man, it's so helpful. And so thank you. Um, Thank you for being able to join live when you can, and thank you for catching the replays and just being consistent with all of your encouragements, man. I think that's what we all need right now in this time, is some consistency. Everything in this world is so inconsistent. Thank you, Lisa. Um, that's what I'm here to do. I can't shrivel up and die. I can't go into my room, into the dungeon in the basement, and shrivel up and die. I can't do that. I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna fight, and even if this thing gets so bad, you're gonna see me fighting, and you're gonna see me encouraging, and you're gonna see me sharing the love that I have of the Creator, and helping transform whatever I can while I'm here. Like it said, like I touched on the one scripture I touched on, and I am probably, I know a lot of my subscribers aren't religious or into the Bible, but I love how everything that we've learned in truth points to the truths in all of these religious writings, and helps you to decipher between the truths and the deceptions that man has put in there to try and steer us away from finding this ability to heal ourselves, because that's really what it comes down to. Is we're, there's a huge deception about the power that you have, the power that's inside of you, and the power that you actually have inherited from source. And so that's what I know. A lot of my videos get into the quantum aspects of these things, but I'm going to start tying in more and more of these quantum aspects to the scriptural aspects of what we've learned and what we've been indoctrinated with, and how to find the truths that lie in these writings. And so right here again, as long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world. What does he say? I must work the works of him who sent me while it is day. The night is coming when no one can work. And that night, family, that night isn't going to overtake anybody, because we're here and we're going to shine this light. And so continue, for those of you who are doing that work and sharing, Derek, man, continue to be that light through any of the pain that you're going through and the difficulties and struggles that you're facing. Because again, I've seen the attacks, and those attacks and those words, that vibrational energy can have a much greater effect than somebody standing in front of you physically with a weapon, or with some kind of carnal means. Our weapons are not carnal. It's a spiritual battle, and it's very real. And so understand, brother, that I'm in that battle with you, and same with you, Jim. Continue to be solid in that battle. I want to post that, because that is, there is nothing in you that needs to be healed, only that which needs to be discovered. Deny ego and its temple each day, and you will discover the eternal present you and its temple of. And so, we do. The things that, that's great insight. That's deep, bro. That's deep, because that's true. The things that I see as needing healed in me are already healed. I'm already whole. How am I seeing myself, family? How are you seeing yourself? See yourself as whole. See yourself as healed. Because from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed, I'm going to continue to tell myself that I'm whole and that I'm healed, that my family is whole and that they're healed, and that this ease in our heart is not going to stand, and it's not going to bring about disease in our bodies. Whatever's going on with me will pass. Thank you for that encouragement, Derek, because that that hit deep. This is daily bread and fertile soil, Steve. Thanks for that, Steve. Thanks for that, Steve. And so if you guys haven't, go and subscribe to Global Witness. Go and subscribe to Global Witness, Gospel Rangers, and Cosmic Cowboy. Man, those guys, they're got a lot of wisdom and a lot of insight. And Derek, much like me, has seen some things pertaining to the future, and so and what it looks like for us and the work that we have to do. And so, man, be whole and be balanced, family. I love you guys, and I will update you guys. I will keep you guys updated. I'm gonna continue to keep coming with the videos, with the research and the information and the times that we're in, and how to be helpful. But I'm also going to continue to keep you guys, this isn't about creating content. This isn't about creating an image. This isn't about creating an audience or drawing people in for any kind of a selfish reason. My channel is not monetized. I've never asked for money. And I still don't ever expect to be paid for the things that the creator's given me. Oh, look, my baby. I'm gonna put that up there before I cut out, because that rainbow of hearts, family. Oh my gosh, that rainbow of hearts. Man, we can go through that rainbow of emotions. From feeling that black heart, right, of just the darkness that surrounds us, to having this, the purple heart of the Christos, the blue heart of the chakra wisdom, the green heart of the heart center, the heart chakra, the yellow, is that the sacral chakra, and the solar plexus, the orange of the solar plexus. And this, we could look at this one as the red one of the root. And you go through all of those emotions. And when you go through all of that, man, you center you balance every single one of those centered positions in your body. You center them, you balance them, and you make them all single. And when your eye becomes single, when you make thine eye single, what does it say? Your whole body will be full of light. And that light, there's nothing that light can't heal. That biophotonic light that we come is amazing. And so be filled with that light, family. Lisa, I will get up the ways to donate. You can donate through PayPal. You can donate through the Cash App, Square Cash. You can donate through Venmo, or you can go to my Facebook page and donate directly through Facebook Messenger. And so I will put up links for all of that, Lisa. And again, it's appreciated. And as often as you're led to, please do. As much as you're led to, please do. And please share this as often as you can, because that, we are swallowing our pride, and we're looking for the body to carry us through this time, and help us in any way that the Creator leads you to help. And so, while it's still day, let's do this work, family. The night, what does it say? That tears can endure for the night, but joy comes in the morning. And so, family, I'm excited to share some of the things that the creator's gonna that the creator has on my heart to move forward in, that we've already been doing. And again, we're not just looking for donations. Donations are wonderful, but also I'll put the link up for Stardust City Creations. That's the jewelry business that my wife and I were trying to revive, that we started years ago and put on the back burner so that I could do ministry in the church. And so we're still doing the ministry as the church. and so we're not even, we're willing to work and to earn these things, and to do fundraisers to where we, give away some of this jewelry, auction some of this jewelry. I mean, I make a bunch of creative things. I'm very creative. We've got some Native American like prayer sticks. I've made some ones. Uh, um, a lot of really cool stuff, wall hangings, furniture, things that are not too as physically taxing as the construction work was. Um, and so family, as soon as I get done, as soon as I check out of this live, I'll go into the description and edit this video description to have all of the ways that you can donate. And again, go join the Facebook, add me on Facebook, add Stardust City Creations on Facebook, and add Walk in Wisdom on Facebook. Yes, Copper Cups, one of the many steps that I've taken already to start to flesh some of this stuff out and provide the elements that we've all been missing, right? And so, in fact, I'm going to do a whole show on Copper Cups, Bloop Jones, because uh, um, I was asked, why do you drink out of a copper cup? And so I've got a whole slew of information and um, hey, Salt of the Ozarks, thanks for joining, and definitely catch the replay. Thank you for the love, peace, and the healing blessings, man. They are so accepted and appreciated, and I can't even explain how much that means, And so, I see that it's so hard to get out of bed in the morning. Sometimes it is, Lisa, and so that's something that we go through, and yeah. Oh, definitely. I'll post the stuff up for the jewelry as well. I've had a couple of people. I made a couple of sales on Facebook, but yeah, definitely. I'll post a lot of the stuff that we have made, and I'll post some pictures of the stuff that are in the works and that we can make, and just understand that we can do custom orders. And so, family, if there's something that you want us to make, I'm very skilled, very talented, and so is my family. And so, if there's something that you're interested in, uh, hit me up, and we could probably make it. And that would be very helpful for us as well, to share the pages, to share Stardust City Creations, to share the creations that we're putting out there, because that's all made with intention of love as well. And so, that can be healing for some people. And so, family, I planned on going an hour. I went an hour and 40 minutes. I thank you for spending this time with me, and I thank you for giving me your attention, and even your heart and your emotions. Your energy is greatly appreciated, and you guys always bring such great energy in the chat, and so thank you guys for that. I'm not gonna actually go through and do a lot of the stuff in the chat, but again, Flash Gordon, Eyes to See, Blop Jones, Robert Francis, Lisa Williams, Global Witness, Derek was in the house, Tim Panko, Becky Perry, Robert Francis, Victoria Cunningham, Gospel Rangers, Steve Conover, Eyes to See, uh, Danny Skylark, James Lowmiller, man, all you guys are awesome. Theodora, I think I might start repeating people now because I'm getting pretty far up in there, but um, I know that a lot of you family are in my corner, and fighting for us, fighting for this family. And so, we love you, family, and we thank you. And we just want to just wish you and your family and your loved ones nothing but wholeness and balanced vibrations, and just that good energy, that healing energy, that loving energy. And yeah, namaste, family.